Hi guys, CeeChronicles here. Welcome to the channel. I post fragrance related content on this platform and do invite you to subscribe, join the family, like and share and hype this video if you're new. Now if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. There is a hype option that has been put by YouTube, I believe, so you can use that to just make sure that the video reaches more people. It helps with the algorithm and is completely free. Now welcome to a haul. I have some Paris Corner fragrances here and we're going to unbox them together. To me, this is not going to be first impressions, because if you remember when I did the Paris Corner videos, I did actually review these based off of first impressions at the Paris Corner booths, right, in the Middle East. But now I do have them in person. The very first one is Zahari Amara. Okay, Zahri Amara. And Paris Corner keeps giving us, you know, a lot of different bottles and stuff. This particular bottle is not a fave, okay, and I say so just to give you, you know, my thoughts on it. But that's how it looks. Okay, it is literally like a pillar, and it has that top that looks like a caramel dripping, you know, that sort of thing. I mean, look at this. Okay, very nice. But what is it that I'm smelling? Smells so good. The inner part of the box smells really good. So I'm hoping this is gonna reignite my interest in this fragrance. I can't remember what I said about it, you know, when I was at the Paris Corner booth, but let us try it again together. I don't like this bottle, okay, but anyway, we move. All right, cap off. I think I'm gonna like it because look at this. It is actually the fragrance that I was smelling, because it looks like it was spilling. Okay, looks like it was spilling. If you look at that, you see, you can see that. Yeah, it looks like it was spilling. This is candy like. That's what comes to mind first off. Candy. No. Oh, okay. I was about to say the whole thing was dumped in the box. There's nothing coming out. No, we have some. Oh, okay. I like this. I like you. Zahri, I like you. Okay, first thing I can say is I don't know why they put it in a bottle like this. If I was Paris Corner, I wasn't gonna put it in a bottle like this, or perhaps I was gonna pass on this base. Okay, I don't know why some presentations worry me that much. This is a burst of the most sweetest Candyland, Fantasyland, fruit juice, that sort of thing, and nice, yummy, sort of photorealistic, if I have to say, blackcurrant and raspberry. That is what I get here. A fizzy top. Nice, sweet, girly, unexpected. I don't think this particular one lists a note of caramel, so I want to see what the other one is doing, because the other one is caramel something. This one does not have caramel listed as a note, but if it had that listed as a note, I would have totally concurred, you know, with Paris Corner, because it is a sweet fragrance, fizzy, not sweet as in gooey or sticky sweet, but there is a, you know, there is an accord that they have used in this fragrance that is anchoring, you know, how that raspberry is supposed to present to your senses. The raspberry, the blackcurrant, whether it's a blackberry or whatever it is, but there is a fizziness to a berry in this fragrance, and that's what speaks the most. And then it gets into a floral. Oh, this is nice. I like this. I like this fragrance. It has somewhat of a gentle, you know, rosy, like a rosy peony like nuance. Okay, and I did look this one up. It was being compared to Floraicu's Umbrella for Two, and the only Floraicu I have in my collection is the Sand and Skin. I don't have Umbrella for Two. Floraicu is a house that I intend to explore, so we're gonna see. This one being a clone and really playing with my senses in a joyful way like this, I would like, you know, to get my nose on the real thing and see. Now, the con to this is some people will perhaps find what I am being so bubbly about here as synthetic, because when fragrances have that accord, you know, that fantasy, playful, sweet, juvenile accord about them, some people immediately fixate on how that is synthetic and then end up not enjoying the fragrance. But with me, it is that synthetic accord that I am actually absolutely liking about this fragrance. And honestly, the packaging is not doing it justice, in the sense that if I just saw this without smelling it, I don't think I would consider purchasing it, thinking perhaps it contains a juice that is not so much woody, but I wouldn't know what to expect from a bottle that is like this, and certainly not what I'm smelling here. If they had bottled this perhaps in a brightly colored, bottle, very bright, mimicking this Fantasyland that I'm talking about, very pretty, even lilac, not so much pink, but maybe lilac, that particular color, maybe it would be so enticing or be a crowd puller in terms of just selling it by presentation. But anyway, we like this one. I like it. I'm not sure whether it's gonna hold, but so far so good. It is doing its thing, right? It is also reminding me of a juice. Now that blackcurrant is sort of transforming into like a sourish blackcurrant, but still keeping, that fruitiness about it. Oh, I like this one. It was Zahri something. Anyway, next one is caramel bash, a similar packaging but darker, so perhaps this is going to be very caramel forward. Let's see. This is caramel bash. Okay, this is not gold, it's kind of like a tan bronze color, but it's identical to the Zahri and it's sitting there. Let's see what this one is doing, but based on the naming of this fragrance, we are going to expect some caramel. So let us see if it does live up to the caramel bash. Think about it. I'm trying to get the blotter. Paris Corner 2025/2026 composition. What is this one doing? Okay, I could certainly pass on this. I am not too wowed by it. Okay, but yes, it does live up to the caramel. There is a caramel in here, a nuttiness in here, okay, a woodiness in here, but there is also an oudiness in this. So to me, immediately, it's giving me confusion in a bottle where this, to me, the opening does not have a hook line. I don't know what to say about the opening because it's all sorts of things trying to speak at the same time. Like spices, we're here, okay, we're spices, we're here. And in this case, it's not like cinnamon. It's kind of like maybe cloves, but it's intense spices. They're there. And then there's this nuttiness, and then there's a push and pull between what feels like a sweet caramel and smoky vanilla, and then an oody thing about it. I think this is one that may need time to settle before I can conclude like 100% what it's doing, because it does feel like now, the pages are coming to the surface. So do not judge this based off of just a couple of sprays. Let it sit, okay, because it is now unfolding, right? But still, in as much as this one is seemingly outright smelling like it's more heavyweight than what I got in Zahri, it's still not a fave. Yes, the caramel accord is coming to the surface, but I'm not sure how I feel about the caramel mixing with that almondy nuttiness and oudiness. The oud in this is not smoky, is not stinky, but it's there. Okay, you are going to get a woody thing, to this fragrance. So I think nothing comes to mind again when it comes to this as to what I can give you in terms of comparison. But if you are an OG on this channel, you will know that I always tell you that Paris Corner is always a step ahead when it comes to giving us new DNAs. That Zahri, as I said, is said to be inspired by that Umbrella for Two, which is a DNA that is not washed up. So if you're looking to buy something that's going to interest your nose, then certainly I would say Paris Corner. However, with this one, it's now almost feeling like a toasty toffee. Okay, toasty toffee, yes, caramel. If it's got like, I wouldn't say buttered caramel, because there's that woody thing that's kind of interfering there, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. But anyway, let's move to the next one, because I don't want to waste your time talking about the same thing. What I'm going to do when it comes to the Paris Corner fragrances, most of them that I have and some of the inspirations, I am going to dig up some of the fragrances within my collection. If I find that I do have a fragrance that is said to be an inspiration of one of the Paris Corners that have been released, then I'm going to bring a grouped up video, of course, after testing these fragrances for longer. All right, so Caramel Bash, it's not a train smash. It's not as bad as what I got from Latafa to Rue something that I reviewed the other day. Absolutely didn't like that. Wouldn't wear that, but this I probably would. It's not the same fragrance, but I'm just giving you an idea. This would also win both hearts, which is the unisex thing about it. It probably could do for both genders, or would probably endure longer than the Zahri. They're not the same. They don't feel like a continuation of each other. But I'm saying, in case you are looking at the two and you're wondering which one to buy, Zahri, it's one of those very enjoyable bright scents that I'm not sure about the longevity, but this one kind of has that concentration. And remember, we did throw in the word oud there, so it's probably going to have a little bit of some lasting power. Caramel Bash is the name of this one, and it was the second one on the lineup. Let's move to Choco Lait. Okay, Choco Lait. Lait as in milk. Lait in French is milk. So let us see what this one is all about. But this is also second impressions to me. All of them were second impressions to me, actually, because I did smell these fragrances at the Paris Corner store, okay? And you can purchase decants of the Paris Corner fragrances at Hygie Scent, which is www.hygieScent.com, or you can purchase at Aroma Concepts, right? They are the distributor of Paris Corner perfumes, or directly on the Paris Corner website, which is pariscorner.uae. Okay, I love lilac, and I'm gonna have a conversation with Maima about this color, because we're talking about something in this color, and now that we have it in person, I'm going to see whether she still thinks that what we were talking about is a good idea. Okay, something about decor and stuff. Anyway, so this is the close-up. Paris Corner have given us a bottle like this in, I cannot find the fragrance, but they have given us a bottle like this with, it's brown in color, and the juice smelled exactly like Vanilla Toffee by Swiss Arabian, but this one is Choco Lait. Okay, so we wasted a couple of sprays, and I tell you my thoughts. This is second impressions now, maybe third or fourth, because when you go to those booths, you keep spraying yourself. Choco Lait. Okay, all right, fine. This is not a fragrance I'd say buy if you are obsessed with milky fragrances, okay? It's not giving me outright milk as a first impressions. In fact, I'm getting a spicy top, very spicy greenish top, okay? Almost like a black pepper kind of top, black pepper spicy top. And almost like a greenish woody tonka. I'm trying to dig, to that chocolate, but it's the late bit about it, which is the milk bit about it. I think I can almost say, do not expect that in the opening, even in the first 5 minutes, because it's still not there. What I am getting is a woody, okay, a woody fragrance, like a double, triple woody, even quad, woody scent in a greenish accord, and what feels like a spicy black or pink pepper. Okay, this is confusing. This is one of those fragrances that if you purchase because of the naming, it's going to throw you off. Now, am I completely upset? Not really, but don't buy this based on the name. Don't buy this based on the color. This to me is not giving me pretty vibes. Lilac, iris, those type of colors can evoke in your senses like a prettiness and stuff. This is not, to me, a fragrance that I would call pretty. In fact, I'm getting a woody, even slightly boozy scent, in a lot of spices. It also does vibe dry. Could also have a fruit in this. I don't know whether it's cherry or what. I, in fact, am going to spray it on myself and see how it develops on skin. If it changes on skin, then I'll know whether I absolutely like it or not. Oh, okay. On skin, it kind of tries to push like a gourmand tease to it. On skin, it's nicer than it is on paper. Okay, on skin, definitely better than Caramel Bash. Definitely better. I wish I'd actually started with the skin, because with the skin, it is communicating more. It is giving me a fruity thing about it. It could have like an apple to it, and there is now like an underlying almost like a buttery thing, but not necessarily something that I'll say is outright milky. But that same accord could very well later on in the dry down start to present itself as very milky. So let's say this is not a total throw off, but do not buy it expecting a gooey, vivid, in your face, oh my God, I'm tasting chocolate right now. My senses are smelling chocolate and milk, not necessarily, but it is nice. It is also now opening up to the florals and stuff. I do like this one. Honestly, I do. On skin, it's way, way better than it was, on the blotter. So yeah, that is the last one, guys. Choco Lait. Let me know what your thoughts are. This gives me a composition that could very well last a little bit longer again than the Zahri. Okay, based on just the mix of what I'm smelling here, there is an intensity in this fragrance. Those double, triple, quad, woods that I spoke about could make this one hold up a little longer. And it is giving me a fragrance that's likely to transition, from one story to another, which makes it even more interesting because I hate fragrances that do not tell a story. They can get timid at some point. It gets boring, sometimes smelling a fragrance that does not transition. This is giving me a lot of pages. That floral thing again, perhaps could be one that ladies are going to claim. So I'm going to put this one at 70% feminine. I'm also going to put it as summer, cool weather. I think it's going to do. Can also transition to all seasons. Not bad. The last one on the lineup, Choco Lait. Buy it for what I said it is, a spicy woody scent with a cheese of a fruity accord there. CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section where we discuss more about fragrances. Remember to turn on post notifications. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Also, remember to hype this video, and that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.